Yo, what's up with YouTube? It's your boy Mma Jay, and today I'm going to be dropping my UFC 316 predictions. Now, I'm going to predict the fights that I know. So, if I don't know you that well, I'm not going to go too deep into the breakdown, or I'm just not going to do it at all, because I don't know some of these fighters, I'm not a casual or anything like that, but I just don't bother to watch back their fights and stuff for this. So, yeah, let's get into the video. In the first fight, we got Salkil versus Mma Jay. Now, I'm going to go with Salkil. Now, I don't know too much about this dude or Mma Jay, but I did see he had a very good knockout over Jubilee. Planted the right hand, even though that was early stoppage, but he was still gonna beat Jubilee, But I see these YouTubers picking this guy. Bedtime MMA says he's very good on the regional scene, something. Plus, he does look good. And like this, his style, he seems like a sniper type of guy. Like I said, I don't know too much about him, but he looks like he's good. I know a little bit about Mma Jay. I watched this fight with Trevor Peak, He looked mid, He looked mid. I know he's not that Sam Patterson when Sam Patterson was at 155. That's a pretty good win that's aged pretty well, I'm going to go with Salkil here by decision. Mma Jay, he seems like a tough out. He seems like you're not going to put him out easy like Salkil did Jubilee. Plus he's the way taller fighter. He's 6 foot. Mma Jay is 5'8". Also way longer. Salkil 75-inch reach. Mma Jay 69-inch reach. So I just see Mma Jay having a hard time to close the distance, and Salkil just being the better technical striker, the longer fighter, and winning convincingly over 3 rounds. So yeah, Salkil by decision. I'm going to go like a 29-28 for Salkil. Next up, we got Cong versus Ariana Lipski. We all know the obvious pick here. Cong is going to either TKO her in the first round, or she's going to school her on the feet and win by decision. Ariana Lipski, she's on a losing streak right now. Cong, I believe she is one of the best strikers in WMA, from a technical standpoint wise, she schooled Bruna Brazil on the feet, outboxed her, showed her levels on the feet. In her debut, had a very good knockout. In the second fight in the UFC, she got submitted, but before that, she was really schooling that girl pretty convincingly, until she got impatient and ended up getting caught and ended up getting submitted. But I think 9 times out of 10, she beats that girl. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I'm going to go with Cong. By the method, I'm going to go with TKO first round decision. Which one? I'm going to go with decision, bro. I think Liz is going to be scared to engage with her, which is just going to lead to her getting schooled on the feet. So I'm going to go with Cong by decision. I do think Cong is going to go pretty far in the flyweight division, So, yeah. Cong by decision, 30-27. Next up, we got Sergey Spivak versus Walter Cortez Costa. I'm going to go with Sergey Spivak by round 2 submission. He has lost to the top levels of competition, including Jalsa Almeida, Tom Aspinall, who else? Cyril Gons up there. He's lost to the top level guys, but I do think the Waldo Cortez Acostas are fighters that he can beat. He does have legit ground game. Submitting Derek Lewis, it's not that easy, as we've seen how Alton Almeida struggled to submit him, and that fight went 5 rounds. He also submitted Marcin Tybura too, and Tybura, he's decent. He's a crafty vet. Samin Tabura in the first round is not easy. Cortez he is getting better each fight. The Robles to Spain fight, the taunting Andre Arlovsky, excuse me. And who else he beat? TKO Ryan Spann in his last fight, but Ryan Spann is trash, bro. The Spain is one dimensional. Arlovsky, he's old, bro. And you see a pattern with all these guys is none of these guys shoot takedowns. It's gonna be a new style to adapt to for Cortez Acosta. He's also taking this fight on short notice as well. So I trust in Sergey Spivak to get Cortez Acosta down. And end up finding submission in round 2. Probably like a what's the good submission Spivak? I go with I'm gonna go with an arm triangle for Sergey Spivak, But I do think if the fight stays on the feet, which I doubt the fight stays on the feet for majority of the fight, Cortez is the better striker than Spivak, I think he has a better point fighting style than Spivak, And plus Spivak is not the most toughest guy, We seen him wilt in fights, But I'm gonna go with Spivak by round 2 submission via arm triangle. Next up, we got Asmat Mirzakhanov versus Brenton Ribeiro. Now, we know which one is the lock, bro. It's obviously Asmat Mirzakhanov. He reminds me a lot of Magomed Ankalaev on the feet, bro. Southpaws. I say Magomed is better than him on the feet, but there's similarities. He's very explosive, has power. Also has good kicks, Brandon Ribeiro, he's all right, Not that about Zhang Mian. He gets dropped a lot. He won his last fight. I forgot who it was against, but it was not the best performance. He does have the height and a huge reach advantage. 81-inch reach for him. For Asmat, 71.5. But I say Ribeiro is just not on the same level of technical ability as Asmat Mirzakhanov, Knocking out Alonzo Minifield. Need some guy, I forgot his name. Let me go check his resume right now. Let me go and check Asmat Mirzakhanov's resume. Asmat. Let me see. Did I spell it wrong or something? He was scheduled to fight Johnny Walker. He would have absolutely brutalized Johnny Walker. Beat Dustin Jacoby. That's a very good win. That's aging very well. Jacoby's doing very good right now. Devin Clark, TKO. Tafon. Yeah, Tafon Nkuchi was one he needed, His resume is not stacked, He barely even fights, But he's undefeated, He's gonna sleep this dude when they're fresh, round 1. Yeah. I just see Asmat, he's just much more cleaner, despite the height. But despite the height and length advantage for Ribeiro, he does not use it well. Not enough for me to pick him against Asmat Mirzakhanov, Asmat is gonna sleep this guy. First round, brother. Next up, we got my boy Joshua Van versus Bruno Silva here. Now all of us are going with Joshua Van here. It's very crisp boxing. Good cardio. Has very good fight IQ and a way to adjust mid-fight, as shown in fights like the Edgar Chairez fight. The first round, Edgar Chairez was doing his thing on the feet. You know what I'm saying? But as the second round came, Van started to mix in the body shots that he's known for. In the Kevin Borjas fight, I think he got dropped. I don't know. I think it was the first round. But second, third round, Joshua Van started to pick up the volume, making his reads, and started piecing them up. This last fight with Rayson Ruya, bro, like, Race really just such a crotch sniffer. He couldn't even, like, this guy is just annoying, bro. Like, Race really, you can't do nothing with him. He gives you no type of time to strike, bro. He's just on your legs, doing nothing, just getting stuffed. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Silva, he's all right. You know, I say he hits more harder than Joshua Van, of course. That is Joshua Van's kryptonite, is that although he has very good output and stuff and very good technique in boxing, he has no power on the feet, bro. This dude can hit you with like 100 clean shots, bro. You're not getting wobbled, you're not getting dropped, and nothing like that, bro. Like, he was giving Cody Durden, I forgot to mention Cody Durden as well. He gave Cody Durden the business, bro. Talking about landing whenever he wanted to. But he did not once drop him. I think he might have wobbled him a little bit. But, you know, Cody Durden was not visibly, you know what I'm saying, hurt. Of course, he was getting pieced up and all that stuff. But this Van's kryptonite, bro. He just has no power on feet. If he can build up his power, bro, man, to be a team. He also has pretty good wrestling as well, offensively and defensively, you know. Bruno Silva, he's just a guy who's gonna faint a million times, bro. Like, this dude faints so much, but yet there's nothing with it, you know. Cody Durden was piecing up Bruno Silva before Bruno Silva eventually came back in the fight and finished Durden with an uppercut. But Van, he absolutely dominated him from rounds 2 to 3, you know. Also coming off getting finished by Manel Kopp, you know. That was an controversial finish and stuff. It's because of the nut shot and other stuff like that, you know. But, yeah, like, Van's gonna win in typical Joshua Van finish. Not Van's fashion, you know. He might lose the first round, but second, third round, we're gonna start him, see him make his reads and stuff like that, and really start picking him apart, you know. And he can probably even go to the wrestling gear. I don't know how good Bruno Silva's takedown defense is, you know. So yeah, Joshua Van, he's him, bro. He did get knocked up by Michael Johnson, but I think he beats Michael Johnson most of the time, bro. And people forget, he was low-key winning that fight. In my opinion, he was beating Michael Johnson into a knockout. You know, and he also took that fight on, like, low-key short notice. You know what I'm saying? Also at elevation and stuff. But, yeah, Charles Johnson, he's game, though. It's not a bad loss to have. Especially with the reach and the length that Charles Johnson has. Silva does not have that. They're both the same. Well, Silva's actually 1 inch shorter than Joshua Van, according to the UFC. And also the same reach, you know. So, Van is fighting somebody his size, bro. He's going to pick Bruno Silva apart. I'm going to pick him by 29-28. Silva might win the first round. With second and third round, we're going to see Van really tune it up. So, yeah, Van 29-28. In the next fight, we got Vicente Luque versus 45-70 Kevin Holland. Holland, he does good at welterweight, you know. At middleweight, he just get out-muscled, submitted, you know. All right, start right there. But when he's down at 170, you know, he's not that easy to muscle around, you know. Luque, he looked very good in his last fight against Demba Garimbo. Dropping him and ended up getting the third stroke, you know. I think these two have pretty equal grappling, you know. Who to give the edge to? I'd probably give the edge to. Probably, I don't know. They're pretty equal, you know. But I'm gonna give it to. I don't know, bro. I'm gonna give it to Luque though, just because he does not get submitted as much as Skip Holland does, you know. But yeah, his previous fight, Luque previous fights, Buckley, who else he fought RDA. One of the most forgotten fights, especially for a main event, bro. Jeff Neal fight, it really did change him. A brain tumor, something like that. So he came out in the other fight, shy against RDA, pillar puncher RDA, and also Walking Buckley. But that's not a bad loss, but he just straight up gave up in that matchup. You know what I'm saying? But he redeemed himself in his last fight. You know, I got respect for that. Holland, he has not been the best lately. Beat by the Litzy. I know it's an injury, but yeah. Submitted by RDR. It's not a bad loss, you know. Beat Gunnar Nelson in his last fight. I think this fight is gonna be on the feet for the most part. I think Kevin Holland fighting Jeddah Marlena. It is a very good. It's a very good. How to describe it? It's a very good matchup coming to this Luque fight, because JDM and Luque, they're pretty similar. They're both boxers, you know, but JDM is better than Luque. More faster, better technical ability, better chin. He actually does move his head, cuts angles, stuff like that. Luque does not do that. He does not move his head up a certain line. You know, he gets hit a lot. You know, I can trust Kevin Holland to land a 2 down the middle. You know what I'm saying? Kevin Holland, he is a sniper on the feet. He does use his range pretty well. He's much taller than Luque. Luque is 5'9". Luque is 5'9". Kevin Holland 6'2". And Holland also has 81 reach. Luque has 75-inch reach. You know, so I don't think Luque is gonna have an easy time getting in upon the inside of Kevin Holland. And when he does, he's probably gonna have to take one to get one. And Luque, even though he won his last fight in good fashion, I still think there's some quit in him. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna have to take one and get one, and I don't think Luque is gonna want to engage in that type of, you know what I'm saying, that type of brawling exchanges, stuff like that. So yeah, I can just see Kevin Holland sitting him down with a 1-2 down the middle, bro, like in the middle of the octagon, 1-2, similar to like Manuel Torres versus Drew Dober type ish. You know what I'm saying? Sneaking a 1-2 down the middle, boom, and I don't think he's gonna put Luque out cold, but I think he's gonna, with some ground and pound, I think Luque is gonna be out of there. You know, I feel like if one to get a submission, it would be Luque with like a dart choke. You know, yeah, but Holland does not get most of the run at 170 though. You know, I don't think Luque is gonna be able to just ragdoll Kevin Holland like the 185ers do. You know, so yeah. I'm going Kevin Holland by round 1 to kill. Once get down the middle, a few hammer fists, and yeah, the fight's over. Kevin Holland in round 1 like a Mario Batista versus Patchy Mix, bro. I cannot wait for this fight, yo. In my opinion, Mario Batista is one of the most underrated fighters in the UFC right now. The Jose Aldo fight, people talk about he got robbed. People talk about Jose Aldo got robbed. Bro, Jose Aldo did not get robbed, bro. Mario Batista won 2-1. Rounds 1 and 3. Go back and look at that fight, bro. Turn off the commentary, because the commentary was glazing Aldo for low-key missed shots, while in round 3, Batista was landing clean shots. They was just not getting recognized by the commentary. Like, off of one so-called bad fight, the third one was a little dull, but, bro, the overall fight, it was not boring. Like, he literally outstruck him rounds 1 and 3. Round 3, not by much, but you get what I'm saying here. You know what I'm saying? Like, did people forget about the Ricky Simone fight? How he just tuned up Ricky Simone as that fight went along, bro? Like, you gotta respect Mario Batista's skill set, yo. He's a jack of all trades, you know? He's not particularly great at anything. You know, he's just very, very well-rounded, bro. And he's also gritty as well. You know, Patchy Mix, he's good. I don't know too much about his game, but I've seen a few highlights clips of him, you know. I think he's the better grappler than Mario Batista. If a submission happens, it's going to go to Patchy Mix. But on the feet, I know he knocked out some Stotts guy. That was a very good knee by him. Like, going against these Bellator fighters on the feet, he looks like a NPC, bro. Like, I don't know if it's just me, bro. You know, stand up, like, you know, he just looks like an NPC. You know, Batista, I trusted him to stuff the takedowns of Patchy Mix. Now, Batista, he has all right takedown defense. I don't know what's his takedown defense percentage. Yeah, I know that does not mean anything here, but just let me see. Let me see something real quick. Mario Batista takedown defense percentage. Take down defense percentage. Let me go to UFC stats. Mario Batista has a 66% takedown defense. So he has decent takedown defense and good grappling himself. He's not a bum on the ground, bro. He can hold his own. But on the feet, Batista would be, in my opinion, too gritty and, too tough for Patchy Mix, Like, I feel like Patchy Mix will freeze up. You know what I'm saying? Now, I know I'm talking like Batista's like one of the greatest strikers ever, which he's not. But I trust in the UFC experience and stuff like that, I fuck with Patchy Mix, though. I love the trash talk. He's talking about he's going to look right through him. He's going to choke this guy out. He'll choke his whole team. He'll choke his 60-year-old jiu-jitsu coach, bro, I fuck with that mentality, but I'm going to go with Mario Batista here. I believe in Mario Batista, bro. I'd probably be like one of the only people who really fuck with Mario Batista, bro. I'm not going to switch up on him off one so-called bad performance, which was not a bad performance or a boring fight. It's just the narrative that fans roll with today, bro. Like, Batista's going to show all the fans, bro, what he's really made of, bro. So, yeah. I'm going to go with him by a decision, bro. I'm going to go with him by a 29-28 decision. Now, I'm not confident in this pick. You know what I'm saying? Because Patchy Mix, his trash talk like he does, it makes me a little nervous for Mario Batista, that he might just really took out Mario Batista, But I'm going to go with my gut, which is Batista, 29-28. First round, Patchy Mix probably wins with the grappling, But he's not going to get, Mario Batista's not going to get submitted, Seems pretty, pretty safe, So, yeah. Yeah. Patchy Mix, the better grappler, but Batista's the more well-rounded fighter here. Better cardio, better chin, all that stuff, yeah. And Patchy Mix don't have much power threat on the feet, like that either, so, yeah. Neither does Mario Batista, but he has very good high output, which is a pretty good pace, good cardio. So does Patchy Mix. He goes 5 rounds over there in Bellator, So, yeah. But anyways, Batista, 29-28 decision. Next up, we got Joe Pyfer versus Kevin Gastelum. Kevin Gastelum, what are you doing at middleweight, bro? You're too small for this division. Joe Pyfer, he is a powerhouse. This is an easy pick for me. It should be a lock, I think, for everybody. Like, bro, Pyfer can win this fight by anything, bro. I think he can knock him out. He can submit him. He can decision, bro. Joe Pyfer is going to smash Kevin Gastelum, bro. I'm picking him by round 1 knockout, Now, I know Kevin Gastelum, he does have a very good chin. He's a tough out. He's not a hard guy to put away, But Pyfer, bro, I think the size of it just be too much for him, bro. I think he's just going to bully Kevin Gastelum in there. Just show him no respect and just freaking bulldoze this guy. I'm picking him. I think he's going to get you like I'm thinking an uppercut, bro. An uppercut or like an overhand, The much taller fighter, 6'2". Kevin Gastelum, he's a midget for this division, bro. 5'8". Joe Pyfer also has a good reach advantage as well, 75 inches. Kevin Gastelum has 71.5. I think Pyfer can ragdoll him even up in the grappling or wrestling. Kevin Gastelum got submitted by Sean Brady, and I know Pyfer's not on the level that Sean Brady is on, but they're training partners. Like, you have to think that Sean Brady will give Pyfer a lots of tips how to deal with Kevin Gastelum on the ground. So I can even see him submitting him with an arm triangle, bro. And beating him by decision as well, just being the more bigger fighter, just much more, just a bully, bro. Kevin Gastelum, I thought he even lost to Daniel Rodriguez, bro. Call me crazy. And also, I think he lost to Chris Curtis as well, you know? And overrated wrestling. His wrestling was never that good, you know? On the feet, he has a good 1-2. That's about it, you know? He's not like a Piper. I don't think he can drown Joe Piper. Joe Piper went 5 rounds with Jack Hermanson, you know? And he lost to 48-47. It wasn't a fraud check, but Jack Hermanson, he did his thing, you know? Kevin Gastelum, he's not as good as Jack Hermanson is, you know? But yeah, Piper, really by anything, but I'm going with him by round 1. Check it out. In the co-main event, we got Juliana Pena versus Kayla Harrison, bro. Now, I think this fight right here is lucky carrying UFC 315, bro. I'm actually pretty excited for this fight, you know? In my opinion, bro, this is really a 50-50 fight for me, bro. In my opinion, this could go either way, you know? My first pick was Kayla Harrison. Then I switched to Juliana Pena. Well, now, my official pick is going to be Juliana Pena, bro. I'm going to go with Juliana, bro. I watched some of her fights last time. I'm like, man, I think Kayla's going to beat her, you know? But I'm going to stick with my gut pick. I'm going to rely on the toughness, the grittiness, the 5-round experience that Juliana Pena has. You know, she's not technical at all. You know, she's not technical. She just rushes at you, you know, and throws punches, you know. She has pretty good ground game, you know. Her takedown defense is not good, you know. Amanda Nunes was taking her down at will, you know, which pretty scared me. Go back and look at that fight. Even the first fight where she beat Amanda Nunes, the first round, she got held down, dominated on the ground, bro. And the rematch, 3rd, 4th, 5th round, Amanda Nunes was on her like glue, bro. That really does scare me. You know what I'm saying? But Kayla Harrison, she's obviously much stronger than Juliana Pena. Like, she's literally almost a man, bro. You know? But her wrestling is not good. She does not have good single legs or double legs, you know? Caitlin Vera fight, she struggled to get those wrestling takedowns, you know? She struggled against defense, you know? She's pretty good judo, of course. She's an Olympic champion. Pretty good. Most of her takedowns come from the clinch and stuff like that, you know? She has very good elbows, very good ground and pound, you know? Brutal ground and pound. Her cardio was untested, I'll say, especially at 135. I think she went 5 rounds over there in PFL, you know? But when you're at 135, you know, that does, you know, that's a huge difference, you know, especially for somebody like Kayla Harrison. You know, on the feet, she's alright on the feet, you know. Still pretty green, you know. I think Juliana Pena is a better striker than her, you know. Pena also has a 3-inch reach advantage as well, you know. I see this fight going like the first round, Harrison's gonna dominate her, bro. It's gonna be she's gonna get her down easy. Then like the first minute of the fight, take her down with a judo trip or a clinch trip, whatever, and she's gonna mess up Juliana Pena, bro. Not a 10-8, but she's gonna dominate Pena, you know. She's gonna apply lots of top pressure on Juliana Pena. But I think like towards the beginning of the 3rd round, stuff like the 3rd, like the end, towards the end of the 2nd and the 3rd round, I think Pena is gonna start. She's gonna be the more fresher fighter, you know. And I see her takedown defense getting better as the fight goes on, and Kayla Harrison shots getting worse. They're already not the best as they are, you know what I'm saying. So I'm going to rely on Juliana Pena's 5-round experience cardio and her sloppy striking, you know. Reminds you like, what's a good example right here? I would say a Bilal Muhammad, but even Bilal Muhammad is pretty technical. You know what I'm saying? I'm not getting a lot of hate for that. You know, Bilal Muhammad, he's, you know, it's not about Bilal. It's not about Bilal Muhammad right now. I'm not gonna start talking about Bilal. But Bilal is my guy, bro. Bilal is like my favorite fighter. You know? But yeah. Man. I'm gonna go with Juliana Pena, bro. I'm sticking with Juliana here. I'm gonna go with 48-47 for Juliana Pena. you know, like third, fourth, and fifth rounds, yeah. In the main event, we got my boy Merab Davis-Riley versus Sean O'Malley. Now, the first fight, I picked Merab to beat Sean O'Malley by 49-46, bro. And I'm not gonna lie, Sean O'Malley low-key surprised me, Yeah. Wait a second. I'm tripping. I scored the fight 48-47 for Merab. I gave him Sugar rounds 3 and rounds 5. Yeah. But the reason Sean O'Malley look he surprised me because I thought Merab was gonna put lots of pressure and lots of cardio. But in that fight, he didn't approach it like the fights that he normally would. Like in the Yan fights, the Cejudo fights, the Umar fight, he was putting lots of pressure on his opponents and using his cardio. But in the first fight, he was not doing that. And that was actually smart for Merab to do that. Because the way he knocked out Merab's teammate, the way Sean O'Malley knocked out Merab's teammate was on the back foot while Aljamain Sterling was trying to close the distance. And Merab, when he's pushing forward, he does not have the best distance management, So him being on the back foot, it does not give Sean O'Malley the chance to counter him as it would as Merab being reckless on the front foot. Merab also showed just a big strength advantage in the match. It seemed like whenever Merab would get his hands locked, Sean O'Malley was going down. You know what I'm saying? But I do think that Sean O'Malley, he benefits good in rematch versus Merab. Let me say this first. I don't think Merab would do good in rematches, bro. Like, if you put him against Umar in the rematch, bro, I low-key might just pick Umar, bro. And I picked Merab to beat Umar the first fight. Not many people did, but I was one of the ones. You know what I'm saying? You can even go back and look at one of my videos about predicting the end of the year champions or whatever, right? But I don't think Merab style benefits well in the rematch. You know what I'm saying? Like Sean O'Malley at the time, he was going in doing all. He was worried about this sugar character. Now he's locked in, bro. He's doing no more gooning, none of stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? But I think for him to win this fight, he's gonna have to use his kicks, bro. He's gonna have to spam kicks, yo. Merab, he has a weakness in his key defense with the teeps, bro. O'Malley did not throw many teeps in that fight. Yeah, 5th round, he threw a good teep that really got a huge reaction on Merab. You know what I'm saying? But you have to guess Merab will come back with better teep defense, right? So yeah. But like I said, Sean O'Malley keys the victory. I think he's gonna have to keep the distance, bro. I think for him to win, I think he has to be on the back foot, bro. I think he has to make Merab come to him, bro. Honestly. Because he gives him that counter ability, He's going to have to throw lots of kicks. He does not want to overextend with punches. Because the moment you do that, Merab's going to duck under that shot. And he's going to get the takedown, I think he has to use lots of kicks, bro. And really whatever. He has to prevent their front headlock position, bro. The first fight, he was getting put in that position for too long and too many times. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But some tell me Merab is going to be confident on the feet this time. Something tells me Merab's going to go out there and just try and put the beats on him, even on the feet, overwhelm him with volume on the feet. But I don't think he can do that, Merab, he came with the perfect game plan for the first fight, and he still won 3-2. You know what I'm saying? O'Malley did come in there with a good game plan. He won. He took 2 rounds off Merab, which okay concerns me. But yeah, I'm still gonna go with Merab here. I'm gonna go with Merab here by a 48-47 decision. I think O'Malley's gonna make adjustments to make this fight. The first fight was not dominant. But I don't think it was a good look for Sean O'Malley, Going to the corner, his coach telling him almost done, Shug, him getting kissed, and him getting beat up in the 4th round. Merab put the beats on him in the 4th round, But it was not a dominant performance by Merab, O'Malley, he held his own, He says he put on a little bit more muscle in this fight. So we'll see about that, But O'Malley, he always looks down there, bro. This fight week and stuff, Marab, prior to this fight week, he was kind of glazing O'Malley, telling us O'Malley's a good fighter. He can knock me out, like saying stuff like that, But now, come fight week, he's not saying so. He's saying he's gonna humble Sean O'Malley, also, which I think is a great mindset for Rob. You know what I'm saying? But I just hope he does not go out there and try and make a point on the feet against Sugar. Because if he does, he's gonna get sniped. You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna go with Marab, bro. 48-47. I'm gonna believe in Marab, bro. But do not doubt Sean O'Malley, bro. Sean O'Malley, he can win this fight if he has the right game plan, which is don't overextend with punches, bro. Use your kicks a lot, Marab, I don't know. I don't know what's supposed to be his game plan here. I think he had a very good game plan the first fight. That was a great game plan. I don't know if he could come with anything better than that. You know what I'm saying? But just work on your teeth defense. But yeah, whatever. I'm gonna go with Marab here. 47. I said that multiple times already, but Jesus, whatever. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like, subscribe, comment on this video if you see it, and yeah, bro, peace out.